All right, everybody. My name is Kevin Marino, and I'm here with you tonight to do the In the Know, filling in for Mr. Rob McFadden, who is, he is celebrating his anniversary tonight. I know we all wish him and his lovely wife the best, most happy, uneventful, if you will, anniversary where they could just spend some time together and just chill. They've been together for many, many years, and we're wishing them many, many more. So with that, one of the things that Rob always does in the beginning is get into some of the rank ups that have happened over the last week. And I have a nice little list here. And I need everybody just to bear with me, because one thing that I've never been really good at is pronouncing interesting names. And I'm going to go through these rather quickly. And I already know there's a few in there that I am going to severely do damage to, and I do apologize. Those of you who I happen to mess up your name, do me a favor. When we meet in person or hit me on a Facebook Messenger or something and tell me how to pronounce your name, and I'll make sure that I don't mispronounce it in the future. So the people hitting the position of Vive Life Consultant this past week is Jonathan Parker, Leo Segura, Binil Gonzalez. Okay. You know what? I'm not even going to try that a second time. I think I butchered enough the first time. Alfredo Morales, Kalpesh Bhatt, Fidelia Campos, and Vitality Rashal. Now, all have hit the level of Vive Consultant. Welcome aboard. I know you guys are just getting started. Really looking forward to getting you guys on your way and out cranking. So the next level we have is that of a Consultant 20, and that's Martine Nolazier. I'm just going to run it all together because it sounds good in my head that way. Then we have Consultant 40. We have two Consultant 40s. We have Makita Paul and Carl DiArgenzio. Both have hit Consultant 40. And we have a couple Consultant 80s this week. We have Larry Johnson and Douglas Butchke. Now, I want to say congrats to all of you that it's, you know what, getting started, moving up through the ranks. That's what it's all about here. As we go through, one of the things that you'll see, when you take a look and you look at the comp plan, you look how it's set up, and you see that there's some strategy behind it. And that strategy is to get everybody rowing in the same direction. That's the best way to describe it. See, if you have an amazing company and you have an amazing product, but when you're telling people that this is the activity you want done, but it brings the leaders over here and the newbies over here, it doesn't work. But if everybody's going in the same direction, that's what you want. You want the leaders to be invested in where the new folks go, and then the new folks, as they become leaders, they already know to be invested in their new folks as they come through. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that's been happening, and with that being said, we're going to get into tonight. Tonight is all about shut up and text. Many of you have asked me to do this training. We've done it live a couple times in different places. I've been doing and running this training now for about 4 years. Holy cows. It's been longer than that. It's been 5.5, almost 6 years now that we've been running this training. And the reason, I'll kind of give you a little bit of the philosophy behind it as we go through. It's going to be part of it. So actually, let's just get right into it. There's a reason that over the years we've built teams literally in the hundreds of thousands, and we've done that because we take the problems away from the person who's just beginning. We make it as easy as possible for them to give them the least amount of resistance as they're starting their business. See, that's really important as you start getting going. So the theory behind the system, it basically, the whole point is that new folks do some of the darndest things. This is what we're going to cover as we go through here. We're going to start in conversation, text, Facebook Messenger, the psychology of the words, team leaders and company tools. We're going to go through that. I did this whole series as a 3-part series. Tonight we're going to go through 2 and 3, kind of a little faster than we normally would because of time constraints. Because unfortunately, you only have me here tonight for about 5 hours, and we'll squeeze it in that 5-hour period of time. No, only kidding. We'll keep it to, Rob told me to keep it to, 8:15, try not to go past 8:30. So we're going to go through a lot of information tonight. And as you're going through this, feel free to, don't worry, don't get crazy about taking notes, because it's going to be up on the Vive Update site. So you'll be able to go back there and go through it. And if you like what you see and you want to share it with your team, tag them, things like that. And if you'd like me to do the 3-part series or run a whole 3-part series specifically for Vive and your teams and stuff like that, just type it in the comments. Just let Rob know, let Debbie Lee, let Cammie know that you guys are interested in having me do that. And I'll gladly do it for everybody if that's part of what you guys would like to have done. And so let's just get right into it. Okay. We talk about, new reps in the business. They do crazy things. Now, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I'm going on 29 years now. And years and years ago, I was one of those crazy reps. I did all kinds of crazy things. And there's so many different times when you're getting involved in a business and you're getting someone started. You're getting them ready to get trained. You're going to get with them. You're going to go through it. And they go off and do the craziest stuff. And all of a sudden comes time to do the training. And they're like, this isn't for me. Now, why did that happen? Well, they probably didn't listen to you because you originally tell them, hey, don't do anything. We're going to go through a training. But we're going to do it on Saturday, or we're going to do it on this day, whatever day you're going to do it. But when you do that, what's in their head? They're so excited. They can't wait to get out and start telling people. And they go running out and they start talking to their Uncle Chucky. It's just, it doesn't work. And here's why it doesn't work. They don't know enough about the business to have an intelligent conversation. And they start running into people who really want to do the best for them, their family and their friends, who don't want them to get taken advantage of. But the problem is they can't explain it well enough what they're doing. Plus, because they're new, they shouldn't be explaining it anyway. So we need to find out, we need to get them to immediately be able to do an activity that does not involve them using this. All right? They're not allowed to use their mouth in the beginning. We're going to teach them to shut up and text. Now, some people have asked me, how did you come up with the name Shut Up and Text? As well, because I was so frustrated with some of the folks that were coming into the business and some of the ridiculous things that they were doing and saying and going and talking and coming back with the craziest, most wild stories, that I got so mad one day and just said, I wish people would just shut up and text. And the name stuck. So as we've been going over the years, it's expanded out further and further and further. So our goal is to not let the negativity derail them. We're going to find out their why. We're going to listen to them. We're going to find out what drives them in this business. And then we're going to work to inoculate them from stupid people. And there are a lot of stupid people that are out there. And before I go further, you're going to notice that my training and my teaching are a little different than most people you're going to come across. I'm pretty much, they call me the straight talking networker. And they've done that for a lot of years. And they do that for a reason, because I'm not here to give you information that you want to hear. I'm going to share information with you that you need to hear. And every now and then somebody comes back and goes, wow, you know, that was a little harsh. Yeah, it's going to be. So buckle in, get ready. We're going to have some fun, because you know what we're going to do and what we're going to go through here now is going to help you in your business. It's going to help you develop leaders in your business. It's going to help you become a bigger and better leader in your business. And it's going to help your business expand, whereby you'll find more customers and more leaders as you go through. So we're going to inoculate people from stupid people, your people. So take that time to protect your new prospects, all right, so you can avoid that revolving door. It takes a lot to talk to people, to get them to do the 3 ways, to get into the business and start going into the business mode. So if you're going to do that, let's try to inoculate them. Let's keep them on track. Let's not blow them out of the water within the first 48 hours that they're doing. Okay? So we're going to protect the new reps. Oop, did I go backwards? I went backwards. I apologize for that. So how do we start a chat? Well, and why are we doing texting? Understand that most people do not read their emails. All right, in excess of 90% of emails are never answered. Now, I mean, just raise your hand, think about it for a second. How many of you go through your emails? You don't read every single one. You go, if you're like me, you highlight the delete option, and you go boom, 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 and you just check off all the ones you want to delete, and then you hit delete, and then you go back and you read the 3 or 4% that are left, that are the emails that you want to read, and that's really what it's all about. So it's gotten, when I first put this together, it was 12% are open. It's now less than 10% of emails are open, which is crazy. So the old ways aren't working as well. So how do we get people to talk? Well, think about your texting and your messaging apps. All right, when you pick up your phone and you have, you got your phone and you have that little red dot on the messaging app that says you have 4 messages, or you have 10 messages, or however many messages you have, you don't leave it there. You click on it, you go and you look through and you read them quickly, because typically messages are very short. You're not worried about getting into an email that could be a freaking novel from somebody that's going to drive you insane. All right, it's a short little message. So that's why we've gotten into the texting and the messaging, because people look at them. All right, they open in excess of 90% of text and Facebook messages. So those are the 2 that we key on. All right. Our goal is not, I cannot say this emphatically enough, not to sell when we're messaging. We are beginning a conversation. It's a way for you to poke somebody, to wake them up, to see if it's the right time for them to begin a conversation. All right. So obviously it's very important to stay up with the new technologies as they come out. If when I first started this, Facebook Messenger was not big. It was kind of just starting to catch on. It was really quirky. It didn't always work. So we only did texting. We were 100% texting. But as Facebook Messenger got better and better and better, and many people prefer it as a mode of communication, what we've done at that point in time is this got added in, because Messenger works just as well as the texting. So stay up with it. If something else becomes just as popular and works just as well, you want to be able to utilize that and find more people more as you go. So the phraseology, wording is extremely important. Okay, you're going to find out that we use certain words to trigger responses. All right, I just found out. All right, it triggers somebody. It triggers something in people because they're using that. I just found out. Well, what'd you just find out? Try it sometime. This is a really cool test. It'll drive either your spouse or your children absolutely crazy. All right, and you can do this little test not now. Do it after you've watched this. Or if you're watching a replay, you can hit pause and go try it right now. Walk over to your spouse or your children and just say, hey, I just found out, and then kind of act like you got distracted and walk away. It will drive most of them absolutely insane. And usually, especially with your kids, they'll run down the hallway, go, what? You just found out what? They'll chase you down the hall. So have fun with that one. You're going to find some different things, different exercises that we'll do. We typically try to have fun when we're doing some of these. So try that one out. The other is I'm just curious. All right, I'm just curious triggers that you want to solicit somebody's opinion. Okay? Hey, I'm just curious. Did you like that new Marvel movie that came out recently? I'm just curious. Have you been keeping up with the Red Sox or the Yankees? Hey, I'm just curious. Did you see that have you been watching the Women's World Cup? You're looking, it's telling people you're soliciting an opinion, and everyone has an opinion, and everyone wants to give their opinion. So I'm just curious triggers that pay attention because they want to know what I think. So again, these are different words and how we put it out there. So when we're addressing the text, I always address it with you do it with your vernacular. So if you like to say hi, so if you're going to say hi Joe, and then you put the text, I put hey, because that's how I speak. So when I'm reaching out to friends and family and people I know, if I said hello Joe, he's going to be like, this isn't Kevin reaching out to me. So you're going to take the text and you're going to tweak them just a little bit so it sounds like you are the one sending it. All right, you're going to take the meaning of it. All right, but you're not going to put in, I want to do this, or you should do this, or we're going to do this for you, or we're going to use inclusive. We're going to say, hey, we just found out about, hey, I'm just curious. We found out, or our new thing. So we're going to use things that are inclusive is the best way to describe it. All right. So using the correct trigger phraseology gets people to respond even when it had zero intention of responding to you originally. Trust me, it happens. Not everybody's going to respond to you, but you're going to get responses from people, and they will tell you down the road, I had zero intention of responding to you, and then they learn this information, then they go, now I know why I did. And it's really kind of funny because I've been working with folks over the years, and they're like, man, you sucked me right in with that. And I said, yeah, but just think, if you didn't do that, you wouldn't have made a whole boatload of money in the new opportunity. Okay, so the importance of team leaders. Team leaders are not always your sponsors. Sometimes your sponsor, someone who brought you into the business, is still kind of new. That's okay. You need to meet the people that are your team leaders. Reach out. Find out who sponsored them. Have some conversations. All right, you should have a list always of at least 4 to 6 team leaders that you can reach out to. All right, you want to call them. You want to know who they are, where they've been, how long they've been doing networking, how long they've been in Vive. All right, and you just want to know that they understand how to do 3-way calls, how to do a quick, easy, simple close, which you're going to learn how I do them. It's a piece of cake. It's the most effective, non-intrusive close that you'll come across. So we really worked on that over the years, and it's a lot of fun. Take notes. Understand who the person is so you can talk about them. So you can also, sometimes you want to be able to pick the right one. So if you're talking and prospecting someone that's a realtor, you want to be able to call realtors. You want to, if you have someone in your team leaders that is a realtor, you want to be able to put the like person with the like person, because it's just another point of connection. You want people to connect as quickly and easily as possible. Your job is simply to tee up the prospects. The more you tee up, the more that they will close for you. If you want to be ultra successful, so I talk to my team about this all the time. If you want to be ultra successful, all you do is tee people up for me all day long and all week long, and I will sit there. The simple terminology is you rack them, I'll crack them. If you play pool, you know what I'm talking about. It's the simple analogy. You just bring them to the table, we get it done. All right. If you're willing to tee up the prospects, I guarantee you that any team leader worth their weight will gladly do as many three-ways as you can possibly set up for them. All right, company tools, use them. The recordings, the videos, the webinars, the conference calls, the trainings, use them. Local, regional, national events, don't miss them. You and your team, use them, be there, just get people immersed in using the tools. Don't be a tool, use the tools. Words to live by. The system is getting tighter and tighter and tighter with Vive. They are putting a system together. It's getting better every month we go. I've seen the system just get a little bit better and a little bit better. The tighter we make it, the simpler you keep it for the new folks, the more success for not only for them, but obviously for your entire team. So like I said, we're going to go through some of the stuff. I want to go through some of the intro stuff kind of quickly. And then this is really where you want to take some notes here. This is some good stuff. And yes, if you're paying attention, you'll see the last one there. A bit of fun with people who ignore you and those who get a little snarky with you. We have a lot of fun with those. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to adjust the scripts for the company. Now, people have asked me in the past, what do these scripts work for? How do I know they're going to work for Vive? Well, we've used them very successfully, I might add. Many people all over the country, because it hasn't just been a particular company that I'm in. I've done this training for many different leaders in many different companies, from energy to nutrition, weight loss, crypto, travel, financial, service-based, obviously, in many and many more, and in a number of different countries. We did a lot of them for major UK, Australia, and New Zealand groups. So this has been used not just in the US, but all over. Kind of cool. So again, you're going to see my wording here. So you're going to see, hey, I'm just curious, do you still keep your income options open? Simple opening. There's going to be different ones that we're going to go through. So, hey, are you around this week for coffee? So if you're prospecting local folks, you might just poke to see if folks are around to have a get together. Hey, I just found out how we can get paid to lose weight. That's just one of them. Obviously, you're not going to use that particular one, but we can use different things for Vive. Like, for example, hey, I just found out how we can lower all of our monthly bills. I just found out how we can lower all of our monthly recurring bills. Hey, I just found out how we can lower our cell phone bill in less than 5 minutes. Now, it takes less than 5 minutes. We're gonna tweak the words. We're gonna use a lot of them, and we can go through. One of the things that I suggest is we have a lot of people right now that are starting to use this within Vive. And what I'd love to see is whatever opening line that you start getting a great amount of positive traction with, meaning people text you back and they say, how? Tell me more. What is it? What are you doing? Anything that's a positive response, whatever your most positive responding text is, start to list it under this video. So as people are going, they're going to see different ones come through, and you can say, hey, I get a 10% response on this one. I've gotten a 15. I've gotten a 30% response on that one. So the best we ever did was a little over 30% response. And, it was service-based. So as we're going through, we're now seeing some here that are 15, 20% response. We're starting to get some of the ladies down in Florida are starting to use a few different ones in different places. They're starting to get a little higher response. So I'm really excited about that. So basically, our goal is to start the conversation. All right, we're going to do a lot of field testing. There's absolutely no one particular exact script that's going to work for every single person. And honestly, you do not want every person to respond. Let's understand something right off the bat. As you start going down through your phone, you've made your list, you're going through your phone, and you're going to start texting 20 people, 20 to 40 people a day. And you're going to text them. You're going to reach out, hey Henry, and you text them. Now, how difficult is it to do this text each time? Well, it should take you about 2 to 3 minutes to send out 20 texts. And that's if you're slow, because you're going to copy it and you're going to paste it in the next one. What I highly suggest is when you go back and it says, hey, blank, write the text the first time, and put hey or hi, leave a blank space, and then put the rest of it. Do not put a name in, copy it, then type the name in. This way, when you paste it to send to person number 2, if you screw it up like I did the first number of times, the first night I sent 40 texts to Julie. I said, hey, Julie, because I kept going to the next person. And I pasted, send. I went to the next person, paste, and send. And I got a bunch of people texting me back and go, I don't know who Julie is, but Kev, you're texting me. And I was like, oh, no. So from that day on, I never copied with the name. I always copied with a blank space. And this way, if I forgot to put in the name, it said, hey, I'm just curious. And the thing, it didn't come off as a total screw up. It came off as, well, I know you, so I didn't put your name in. So you understand kind of how I did that. But please learn from me on that one, because it was kind of crazy. Run a few, do some of the testing. We run so many contests here and do so many different things. Feel free to run contests with your team, come up with the best ones, share it with people. Just absolutely share, see what you can get going. Now, as you work in your list, I do a whole thing on working your list, coming up with it. It's, your list should be done. Everything that we do, spiral binder, all right, 8.5 by 11. Why is that? Because, and I can't even find any open space. Because if you look at it, you're going to write on one side and you have room for notes on the other side while it's open. So you always want to do your lists in a spiral bound notebook, and always leave I always leave 2 lines between. So it's name, 2 lines, name. So I typically get about 10 names per page. You want to say T1, T2, T3. What are those? Text number 1, text number 2, text number 3. It's just shorthand, because eventually you're going to get tired of writing. So you start to shorten it to text T1, T2, T3, and you'll know exactly what it is. So call means that you've called them after they watch the video. We're going to get into that. 3-way, date, and time. Be thorough so you don't waste your time going back on, oh, man, did I call that person? Did I not? I'm not sure. Well, anyway, so we're going to work. Your goal is to cross the names on the list. Yes, they join. No, they go on an update list. Undecided. Ooh, excuse me. You don't want undecideds. You're going to get some, but the way that we've designed this is you will end up with much less undecideds. A lot of times people say the money's in the follow-up, the money's in the follow-up. Yes, the money could be in the follow-up. The money is absolutely in the decision. All right, yes, they're in your business. No, they're on your update list. Both of these makes you money. All right, you can follow up for months and months and months and you don't know if it's going to make you money. You're not sure. But guess what? If it's a yes, they're in the biz. If it's no, you're not wasting time with them. They're going to go on an update list that you're going to sit there and poke month after month. And eventually some of those folks will come around as well. So text number one is you're just probing. All right. You're looking for a positive response. Anything that's negative or snarky, you ignore. 100% you ignore. All right. If they ignore you, that's fine. You ignore them back. Do not text them again. Hey, I texted you. No, don't do it. And you do not call them. And if they call you, you do not answer. You hit ignore. Why do you hit ignore? Because their next step is to, well, you just texted me and I'm really, really busy. I apologize. I can't answer right now. But, and then you can go right into text number two. So you're gonna ignore negative, snarky, ignores, and you're gonna ignore calls. You only respond to the positive responses. Anybody who comes back to you positively, you're all over it. Your text number two is going to them as quickly as you can. Now, what's text number two? Well, text number two is moving them down the path. Oh, before we go there, absolutely no getting into texting wars. So if somebody sends you something stupid, something snarky, and you just want to, I'll show them. No, you don't do it. I'll show you later how to make them feel so bad that half of them will apologize to you. They'll watch the stuff. They'll give you great answers, but you have to do it in a certain order. If you do it my way, I guarantee you get people coming back going, oh, wow, hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. And it's crazy. But if no wars, if you get into the war, they absolutely win. They take you off your game. You don't focus on who needs your attention. And that only is the people who respond positively. Understand no more than 30% of the people that are on your list at any given time are actually open to listening to an opportunity. So remember that, okay? Stay focused. Text number two, using the tool. Text number two is to positive responses only, and you're going to use your first tool. I have a very short video. Can you watch it right now? Folks, that is simple. All right. When you're listening to this and going through this training, I want you to think for a minute. When I was in the business for less than a day, could I have done this? I guarantee you the answer is yes, because I put people on their phone doing this within 15 minutes of them joining the company. That's how simple and straightforward this is. All right. I have a very short video. Can you watch it right now? If the answer is no, okay, no problem. When's a good time to connect? No problem. When is a good time to connect? Why? Because if you send the video and they have said, no, it's not a good time, well, then now you're going to have to sit there and follow up and follow up and follow. Have you watched it yet? Did you watch it? Did you watch it? And now you are that annoying friend they always knew you were. Don't be that annoying friend. All right? Contact them at the time that they choose. So if they say, hey, Kev, now's not a good time, but I'm around at 2 p.m. tomorrow. No problem. I'll contact you then. You see how easy it is? No problem. I'll contact you then. I haven't given them the video. It's no problem. I'll contact you then. Have a great night. You contact them. So set an alarm. Contact them at the time they choose with, is this still a good time for you to view that very short video right now? And again, you'll notice what is the ultra important phrase, right now, right now, okay? If the answer is no, you just repeat 2A and 2B. Just repeat it. You repeat it until the answer is yes. I cannot stress this enough. People will beg you. Oh, just send me the video. I'll watch it later. No. I'm going to watch it in like 20 minutes. No, I'll contact you in 20 minutes. I'm going to watch it at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, if you'd like, I'll contact you at 3 o'clock in the morning and send it to you then. Do not send your video link until they commit to watching it. And when are they committing to watching it? Yeah, exactly. Right now. Because if you give it to them and you haven't gotten them to commit to watching it right now, you've given them the control. Okay. Text number 3, to positive responses only. So if they say, yes, I can watch it right, can you watch it right now? If the answer is yes, well, you send text number 3. All right, text number 3 is great. Here's the link. Insert your link. All right, we have an amazing 90-second video that explains pretty much everything we do in a nutshell. That is a great way to get people started, to poke them, to get an initial response from them, because people want to watch short. With a video that's a minute and a half, I wouldn't say I'll call you in 10 minutes. I would say I'll call you in 5 minutes. I would not give them that long a period of time because it's only a minute and a half. You don't want them to watch it for a minute and a half and then either get antsy and call you or then go start doing something else because you haven't reached out yet. So typically people get it and they'll click on it, or they're doing something. They finally put it down. They click on it to watch it, and they watch it for the minute and a half, and you're calling them like 2.5 minutes later. So you're typically pretty good there. So what you want to do at that point in time is reach out to your team leaders, and you let your team leaders know, hey, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to have 10 minutes or less, I'm going to have a 3-way call for you. Now, sometimes people say, well, how do you know that you're going to have a 3-way call that quickly? Because that's the system. So you just tell your team leader you're ready to go, all right, and be ready because here it comes. All right, stick to business. You are not calling to chat about the weather, kids, work, spouses, sports, shopping, cars, politics, religion, gossip, or any other side topic. Stick to business. You're calling for one purpose and one purpose only, is to thank them for watching the video. Okay, so you're going to line up a team leader. You're going to let them know that you have a prospect watching the tool. You got about 10 minutes. You want to make sure that if you're going to do a whole bunch of this one night, make sure you've already reached out ahead and you have at least 1 or 2 team leaders ready for you. Because I'll tell you that it can get a little crazy sometimes. And there's times where I've just literally just been shotgunning through the whole evening. So make sure you got them ready. Get ready to go. So calling a prospect. This is ultra important. Folks, if you have to, put this in front of you and read from it. Do not mess this up. Hi, Joe. First off, I want to thank you for watching the short video. All right? Do not ask them, hey, did you watch the video? Okay? They basically, on text number 2, you said, can you watch it right now? They agreed they're going to watch it right now. I've only had a handful of people in the years I've been doing this tell me that they didn't watch the video. My response, okay. Now, I'm a little straightforward. I'm like, what did you not understand about right now? And I'll call you in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And they're like, oh, well, no, that's fine. Now it's even easier. I used to have to deal with a 3-minute video. Now it's even easier. It's a 90-second video. Listen, hey, it's not a problem. Click the link on the phone. It's only a 90-second video. I'll hold. Folks, it's a 90-second video. Make them watch it right then and there. They already promised to watch it right now. So unless they, they're basically their house just got hit by a tree, you're expecting them to watch it at that point in time. It's your business. Stay in control of your business. All right, that's what this is about. Stay in control. All right. I have a couple quick questions for you. First off, what did you like best about the video? What did you like best about what you saw? However you want to word that, make sure it comes from you. All right. The question that you never, ever ask is, well, what did you think? We don't care what they think. We only care, what did you like best about what you saw? This gets, again, it's words and phraseology. You're getting them into a positive spin, a positive frame of mind to give you an answer that is positive and leads them further down the road to want more information from you. Okay? Whatever they liked, the simple answer, whether you like that part or not, do not argue with the prospect. Don't argue with them. You simply say, yeah, I saw that too. You saw it. I've had people argue with people on the phone about what they should have liked in the video. It's insanity. So that's why when I put these together, it's like, follow the script. It is this simple. Yeah, I saw that too. And obviously, you say that assuming you've watched the video. If you haven't watched the video you're sending to people, watch the video. It's pretty simple. All right. Now, you seem to have liked a few things. I need to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, I cannot believe you maybe watched that ridiculous video. 10 being, sign me up right now. Where would you rank yourself, your interest at this moment? If you have to, at this moment in time, hit mute on your phone. Hit mute. You are not allowed to speak again until they give you a number. That will get uncomfortable at times. Those of you that have that nervous twitch and you just want to jump in, don't do it. Hit mute. Just wait. Grab a glass of water. Everybody, and I mean everybody, if you do this right, will give you a number. Some of them will get a little funny with it. I rate myself a 5.83. Great. I didn't realize I'm with Mr. Spock. Thank you, Spock. I appreciate your interest. Understand, all you want them to do is give you a number. If it's an 8 to 10, sign them up, then call and introduce them to your team leader. The simple response is, I'm a 9. That's awesome. Let's hop on my site. Grab some bills. Let's get you in the system. You can go through. You can talk to them at that point in time about the different options. You can walk them through the sign up on the site. Because if they're a 9 or if they're an 8, 9, or 10, sign them up, and then get them on the phone with your team leader. Normally, you're going to get somewhere between a 2 and a 7. This will be more than 90%, probably 95% of your respondents will say somewhere between 2 and 7. And you're going to get a lot of 6s. 6 is like, it just seems to be the answer. I'm about a 6. Great. Whatever number they give you is awesome. If it's a 1, you're going to thank them. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. And, obviously this isn't for you, but you know what? I appreciate you taking the time. If you know somebody that wants to save money on all their monthly bills, can you please do me a favor? Just refer them to me. People are like, yeah, sure, no problem. So you rated yourself a 4. That typically means you have a few questions. Now, what questions can I get addressed for you that may move you closer to a 10? You understand, we're already prepping them for the close. We're already prepping them to get to the point where they're ready to join. We're walking them down that path. Everything we do here is walking them down that path. All right? So if you want, you can tell them, hey, you know what? People usually have like 2 to 4 questions. Sometimes if you just say questions, some people think, oh, man, I got to think of some. Because, how many questions should I have? Should I have 10? So if you say, hey, you know what, typically the normal person has about 2 to 4 questions. If you say that, well, in their head, they're going to be like, I can come up with a couple quick questions. I got this question. I got that question. Just write them down. And here's what you say to them. Those are great questions. I'm a bit new to the company. Now understand, I use this exact script. I was a top rep in the company. We had a team of over 140,000 people. I used to use this script and said, I'm a bit new, but I work with one of the top leaders who's been instrumental in my success, and they'll be able to address your questions. Now, if I answer the questions, you're training the prospect that they have to have all the knowledge before they begin the business, because their prospects are going to ask them questions, and if they don't know it, they can't answer it, so therefore they can't do the business yet. Therefore, they have to learn a whole bunch before they can go do it. That is not how you want people to start the business. You want people to start the business having zero knowledge whatsoever and totally rely on you to do all the closing, because here's what's going to happen. Every time people put more and more folks on the three-way call with you, they are learning more and more and more of the business every single day. I used to spend hours and hours and hours training people only to have them quit, a week or two down the road, and you'd be like, oh my God, I just spent 8 hours with that stupid guy. And, here he goes and he quits. Understand, I don't do a lot of training up front anymore. My training is done on three-way calls. If you're one of the leaders and you're growing on my team, we got a lady down in Florida right now. She's just banging people on three-way calls all the time. And guess what? She's learning the business. Boom, 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 boom. And she's just going through. She's learning the business. She's already got people calling her, and they're doing three-way calls with her, because what happened? She's learned. She knows how to answer a lot of the questions already. Okay? Now, notice I didn't say, do you have time to do a three-way call? Somebody's calling in during this. Those are great questions. I'm a bit new to the company, but I work with one of the top leaders. Now, what did you initially say to them? What questions can I get addressed for you that may move you closer to a 10? So you already said we're going to get the questions addressed. All right. And here you're informing them that you're working with one of the top leaders in the company, has been instrumental in your success, and they will be able to address the questions. So you're moving them further down the track. Hold on a minute. I didn't give them the choice of if they want to do a three-way. Bam, I put them on hold. Boom, hit the team leader, and check your ego. Some people still refuse to say that they're new. They don't want to be one of those guys, I can't say I'm new because I'm big and bad. You know what? Check your ego. If you play your role, if you do it the right way, you will train the people coming in, and people will copy what you did. So train them on the way in to do it your way. If you bring them in the right way, guess what they do? They start bringing in people the same way and bringing in people the same way. Folks, we didn't build a team of over 140,000 people in less than 4 years because everybody was off doing their own thing. Everybody did exactly the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. On the way in, it was piece of cake. We did stupid amounts of three-way calls. But you know what? It was a lot of fun, and we grew like weeds. So that's what we want to do. All right, learn from it. Learn from it. Teach and talk about your team leaders in the nicest way possible. Keep it short. You don't have to go on and on and on. Hey TL, first I'd like to thank you for being available for us. Joe, this is my team leader. They are, they're one of the top leaders in the company. They've personally assisted me growing my business. There is absolutely no better person to address the questions you have raised. All right. And, Chucky, who's the team leader here, Joe is a friend, an acquaintance, someone I've worked with, someone I grew up with, whatever relationship you've had, lay it out there for who they are. Talk nice about both people to each other. All right, they watched the video, ranked themselves a 4. They have a couple great questions, so you want to all, again, you're propping up your your prospect, so they're feeling good about themselves. You know, they rate themselves a 4. They got great questions. You've said good stuff. They're going down that track. You're bringing them down the track. Has a couple of great questions, and I promise would be addressed by the very best, which obviously is you, so I'm going to turn the call over to you. At this point in time, put your phone on mute. If you don't know where the mute button is on your phone, learn it. Because if you're doing a 3-way call with me and you butt in, I will chastise you in front of your prospect. Don't do it. There's many leaders that are in the company already that know how to do this really well, and they will slap you for coming off mute and speaking when you should not be speaking. Do not speak. It's not your job. Your job is done. You teed it up. You poked them. You got them to answer yes, that they can watch it. You gave them the video. You called and asked them the questions. You got them to rate it. You got the questions that you wrote the questions down. You teed it up for your team leader. Put it on mute. Sit there. Grab a drink. Now your team leader is working for you. That's what you want done. The only time you ever jump in, and you don't jump in, you're asked to come back into the call. So if Chucky, who's doing the call, answering the question, say, hey, Kev, I got to come off mute. Yeah, I'm right here. You know, and because every now and then there'll be a little banter back and forth, but for the most part, it's going to be a mute situation. Have faith in your team leaders. Team leaders have many different ways of closing. Some of us, when we get somebody that is stubborn on the phone, we will use the takeaway. And I know the first time you hear a team leader do the takeaway, you're sitting there going, oh my God, you're telling them not to do this. What are you doing? Trust that we know what we're doing. Trust that we know that will get this particular type of person to call you within 5 minutes of us hanging up. It's just, and how do we get used to it? It just happened. You'll start to feel it. Because if you push and push and push on someone and they're backing up, that person's gone. There's only one way to get them, and that's do the takeaway. You back up and you see if they take a step forward. All right, you'll get used to doing it. You'll watch and listen to some of your team leaders doing it, and you'll be like, oh, hey, that makes perfect sense. Once you've seen it a few times, it makes perfect sense. All right. Understand some prospects it would turn into a yes, some are going to be a no. Don't worry about it. It's a decision. You're looking for them to make a decision. So depending on the personality, sometimes you're going to do a brief follow-up, sometimes no. We'll see. We'll talk about that as we go. All right, so when you hear the call will be coming back to you, so Chucky says, Joe, I believe all your questions have been addressed. Obviously the ones you came in with plus a few more. I simply have one question left for you. Folks, the easiest close on the planet. The planet, easiest closed. When we start on this call, you rated yourself as a 4. How much closer to a 10 are you at this moment? Is that not the simplest close in the world? Every single team leader can do this. And every single person that's going through the process realizes how gentle this close is, but it's powerful. Because you've been walking them down a track. Every time you got them a number, you said you're going to get them closer to the number. You're going to give them the right information. You're going to get the right person to address them to get them closer to a 10. Now you're asking them the question, how much closer to a 10 are you at this moment? Think about how simple that is. All right? If they give you an 8, 9, or 10, great. I'll turn you back over to Kevin. He's going to walk you through our very, very simple sign-up process. And both of us will be here to assist you in growing your business the same way we have done right here. So thank you very much. Have an amazing evening. I'll turn you back over to Kevin. Team leader's gone. You now take possession of the call again. Great. Hey, Joe, hop on your computer. Let's get you to walk through. I'll give you my handle. I'll stay here. I'll walk you through. This is a piece of cake. You always want to stress the simplicity of the sign up. The simplicity, because it gets in their head. This is simple. This is simple. as they go through, what are they going to say to their prospects? Oh, let me walk you through. This is a very simple process. Let me walk you through. Let me show you how simple this is. Again, it's you're going to train them to train the next set of folks that are coming in. 5 to 7. Well, guess what? Okay, hey, we've seen some improvement in number. Obviously, there's some additional information that you would like to review before making your decision. Sometimes they're going to come up with yes, they're going to come up with this and with that. Hey, no problem. All right. Hey, Kev, will you see to it, all right, that you have, hey, Kev will see to it that you have what you need. All right, he's going to get that to you, and then we'll get together for a quick chat tomorrow. All right, notice in this close, what he's doing is he's tying in what information do you still require. You're going to watch it between now and tomorrow because we're already saying we're going to make the time for tomorrow. And what time is good for you tomorrow? Would you prefer? A lot of times I say, what's better, afternoon or evening? So again, you're going to kind of get to know the person. You're going to figure out what's a good time. 0 to 4, hey, no problem. Because if it went down or if it remained the same, hey, you know what? I'd like to really thank you for your time. This appears probably not to be a good fit for you. But if your situation changes, please reach out. I'm going to turn you back over to Kev, and you guys have an absolutely amazing evening. So team leader's going to leave, and then you get to close out the call. As your team leader's getting off, thank them. Thank them as they're getting off. Hey, Chucky, as you're hopping off here, thank you very much. I always know I can count on you. Thank you very much for helping me build my business. You've always been there for me, and I really appreciate it. I don't care how the call went, because not every call is going to go well. You are going to get some idiots on the phone occasionally. Not often. If you go through this process, you've already walked them down a path, so most of the idiots have already gotten off the track. All right, so you're not going to get too many idiots, but you are going to get a few. All right, if there's ever an issue or you think that something wasn't handled properly, do it privately. You text after and you say, hey, can I chat with you about how that call went? I wasn't comfortable with this or I wasn't comfortable with that. I'd like to go through and I need to understand why you handled this way or this that way. Don't go in, because I've had people do this to me, call me up and be like, I can't believe you said that to that person. I'm like, listen, the person they weren't going anywhere. So sometime when a person isn't going anywhere, I poke them to find out if we even have a live body. All right, so by poking them, either they're going to go positive or they're going to go negative. I just want them to go one way or the other. I don't care which way it is. I want them to go one way or the other. Pick one. All right, I do not need you to be sitting there in limbo. All right, so you got it from here. When he turns it back over to you, 8, 9, or 10, hey, thanks, you got it from here. Boom, you're going through. I cut through some of this. You could. This is, again, a simple, I've talked through part of this already. Take the call back and go into what they're looking for. So 8, 9, or 10, you're going to sign them up. You're going to talk about the simple process. 5 to 7, you're going to find out what other information they need. Sometimes they're going to want, I want the long version of the presentation. I want a lot of information. Do you have any other videos? What type of stuff do you do over here? There's different personality types out there. And if you get someone that's a green personality type, that's a whole nother training. But you get someone that is the engineer type, the lawyer type, that just craves data. It's about 7% of our population. They will drive you crazy. But once they get all the data, they are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So they may just want a bunch of information. Get it to them, whatever they want. Get them that information. And if they're a 0 to 4, thank them. Thank them. Let them know if the situation changes. They can reach out, maybe refer you a few people. But hey, if you don't mind, I'd love to throw you on an update list. What's the update list? Well, it's hugely important. Anybody says, no, not now, I don't think it's for me, anything similar to that, whatever it is, be professional. There's no whining. No whining. This is how I love to close stuff out with people that say no. It's like, hey, I understand it isn't for you. Not a problem. Joe, not a problem at all. But I'm going to be making a huge run at this. You know some of the stuff I've done in the past, or if you haven't done in the past, you can say, hey, Joe, the guys I'm working with they're making a huge run. I'm going to make a huge run with them. I know what they've done in the past. I want to be working with them all the way. All right. As I believe it can change my life. Would it be okay if I sent you a short update on my progress occasionally? And serious, folks, unless they absolutely do not like you as a human, they're going to say yes because of how easily you let them off the hook and you didn't try to badger them. You're like, hey, no problem. Most of the time what people want to know is that you're going to stick to it. And if they see these updates coming month after month for the next 3-4 months, they're going to start to pay attention to what's going on. And about once or twice a month, you send out a very short update, just a couple lines, briefly describe what's up, new rank you hit, promotion that's going on, a new product, your optimism, and always sign off with thank you for your support. They bought nothing from you. They did nothing for you, except they gave you your time and they respected you enough to go through that process with you. Thank you for your support. I've had people that have come back to me 6 months, a year later, and been like, man, I didn't support you at all. And I said, yes, you did. You listened to the stuff. You went through it. That's all the support I asked of you. If you want to take it any further, that's up to you. I only requested that you watch a video and have a conversation. That's it. I didn't ask that you said yes. And the fact that you allowed me to keep updating you, I've had people come back 6 months, 12 months later and have said, hey, you know what? Things have changed. Changing my life. I want to do this. Great. I'm going to end with this, folks, because I've gone a little long tonight. I apologize. Hopefully they don't get too upset with me. I went over an hour. Sorry about that. But you have to have we'll end with the fun part, the ignores and the snarky people. First, ignore them. Next, reach out to them a week later with, is this a better time? If they respond with something questioning or positive, simply like, well, I attempted to reach out to you last week, but when you didn't answer, I figured you were busy. Aha. They realized they read your text. They ignored you. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. Now they already owe you one. Most will ask you, what was it about? Resend text one. You start to just go through the process, right back to number one. Treat them as if they're starting it over. Just go right into the system. Don't even get into explaining it. No. Text number one, whatever that first initial text you sent, boom. Say that. Now, if they continue or repeat, just repeat the process. If they don't ignore you, wait another 5 to 7 days. The third text would be, are you okay? That will get most people to reach out. Be like, yeah, why? Well, and you go back up here. I attempted to reach out to you the last couple weeks. I figured either you were busy or something happened to you. So you see where this is going. Fourth text, where should I send the flowers? The fifth text, only one person ever ignored me on the fifth text. Because I wish you the best, but I need to close the file on you. Usually I get, what the hell are you talking about? A couple times I've gotten phone calls. Only one person ever ignored that text. So that's always a fun one, because the reality is, again, it's the psychology of it. Nobody ever wants to have the file closed on them. Snarky, first ignore them. Next, reach out. When you reach out to the ignores, you reach out to the snarky people as well. Simple thing is, are you in a better mood? This pokes most people. It pokes them, it tweaks them, it just drives them insane when you say that, because they're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? That's the first thing. And your follow-up is, hey, I reached out to you. You sent me a snarky response, so I figured you were having a tough day, so I gave you some space. So right away, you're the really good friend or a good person that knows them that you just assumed they were having a bad day, not just being a jerk for no reason. So again, you gave them space. You gave them a reason now. You gave them some time. You gave them a space. You give them the opportunity to be a better person. Most of them will. Most of them are like, oh, man, hey, oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, I was having a bad day. Oh, man, the cat gacked on the carpet. My wife got in a car accident. You wouldn't believe what happened to me last week. Don't worry about it. Always give them the benefit of the doubt the first time on a snarky response. Now, occasionally someone's just going to be snarky. And if they do it again, ignore, move on. Hit them maybe one more time a week or two later. If they do it again, cross them off the list as no. Move on. You probably take them off your list in general if they're just going to be an idiot. Be consistent. You truly want to be successful at this amazing profession. All right. It is important to be consistent above all else. You work your job consistently. Why would you not work on your freedom consistently as well? Why wouldn't you do it? So do it. Be consistent. Have a good time. This is Kevin Marino saying, hey, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully they'll let me do another In the Know, even though I went a little over tonight. Hope everybody had a good time. Leave your first text samples that you've been using. If you get whatever results you're getting, 10%, 20%, 30%, be as informative as possible. And as we start sharing them and other people start using them and tweaking it a little here or tweaking it a little there, when you do that, if you guys want ideas, like you write some up and you want my feedback on them, please throw them in there. Just tag me. All right, I'll jump in. Let's go back and forth on them. Let's get a lot of input from a lot of your folks. Get as many as you can to watch this, and we'll get feedback from everybody. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care. Have an absolutely amazing evening.